this guy up for 50 bucks.
What's up guys, James here. Thanks for coming back to the shop again today. Today we're going to be working on the bus. Try to get some more work done on this thing. We're going to be making some custom metal panels for the inner wheel wells and a few other areas. So if you're interested in some custom metal fabrication of sheet metal, stay tuned. Let's get going. Me and Ricky are here just messing around with these are wheels for his car, but we just threw this up in here to kind of get a look-see of what it's going to look like when it's all the way low. That looks badass. Be more centered, but you know, we're going for dropping right onto the rockers here, so maybe up even a little more than that, Ricky, but right there. Yeah, so that's, I wish I could fit a wheel in that wide. I'd have to do more suspension mods to get something that in there. Maybe I'm gonna need to, I don't know. That's a 17-inch wheel, that looks sweet. I even like those little spokey wheels like that would look cool on here, I don't know. Be kind of a modern twist. I like it. All right, so working on the driver's side here, just got this little box Eric made a couple weeks ago, welded in and kind of hammered it over so it's nice and ready to go. Just MIG'd it in, and so this is the tail light clearance for the tail, or yeah, the tail light, because normally the tail light would have been up here, but with the body drop, the tail light is now down here because this essentially moved up 5 inches with the body drop and the torsion engine raise. So I'll show you how it goes. All right, so that's basically where it's going. And you can see the box here give me plenty of room for the tail light. So just one of those little extra things that you kind of don't really think about when you're doing all this. But so I'm trying to get this piece in today and get this piece in here, get that made, get that done, and then I'm gonna be sandblasting again, so I'm gonna get in here and get this all cleaned up. Cause that's dirty. But this is where it's at right now. Long process. All right, here is my rear driver's side inner panel. What a pain in the ass. And my stupid punch just broke. I was in the middle of starting to punch my holes and got to that second one and the shaft gave out. Come on, look at that, broke. So that sucks, but I'll go throw this in there and it's been a long day, my friends. But anyways, I got the battery box in there. And whatever you want to call it for this side, it's going to be where my but bam, that's a nice fit right there. Back up. So there it is. Now, I know what you're saying. Maybe I should have lined those lines up with that. And I don't know why I didn't. I just kind of arbitrarily threw them in there, but whatever. And then there's gonna be one more panel down here, the little splash panel. But I guess the one point I'd want to make is I got a flange on this side that I'm gonna spot weld to the fender all the way up. I gotta clean this up. And then this side, there's a flange on this piece going this way. So that allows me to adjust this panel in and out. So I'll put my straight edges on here, along here to make sure, because I think this panel needs to come out about 1/8 of an inch to make sure I'm real nice and straight. So I'm gonna put my big giant straight edges on there, clamp them all on, and then I can adjust this panel in and out, get it exactly where I want it, maybe wedge it in with, ooh, owie, how sharp. And then that way I'll have holes all along in here, and then once I get it exactly where I want it, you know, I'll have it welded on here, spotted on, and then I'll go and on this side, I'll MIG it in through the spot holes, if that makes sense. And then same along here, I'll just weld this all in. This one here, I could use the spot welder. And here I'm gonna have to use the MIG welder, and same up there. Little combo. Anyways, hope that makes sense. Let me get a farther view here. All right, that's looking pretty good. So I'm gonna work on the splash panel right now. get that fabbed up real quick, and then I'm gonna call it a day. All right, there's my splash panel template. Gonna go make that. That little bit I'll take out with a grinder. Ba-bam. Okay. Alright, so I got this laid out. I got my little ribs laid out. I transferred it on my pattern so I can do the other side. And this time I'm going to try just in the press and see what happens. I'm going to tape this guy on there, do this one, flip it around, do that, and see if that works instead of using the bead roller. And I guess I'm going to pre-stretch it first. I'll pre-stretch it a little bit with the planishing hammer. Alright, so I'd say that actually worked really well, except for I had to do it this way and then flip it around and do it this way. I just taped it on there. Right, we're doing the opposite of the way we lifted it, and then we're pressing it in. So that, you know, I think that looks like a fucking stamping. Excuse my language. Looks good on the back, except for, you know, that guy there, that line there. So that was this kind of sharp edge on here. So I just need to go ahead and make another one of these that's the right size, and it's small enough where I can get that whole thing in one shot, even if I have to move it around a little bit, and then I won't have that crappy detail in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a new one that's the right length and try that again. So I just pressed this with the new die, and bam! I imagine it would be a little more crisp if I used more rubber down there, but that looks pretty good. That's the messed up one. So I'm gonna have to try to fix that a little bit, but so having the one piece one, that works pretty good. I'm gonna hit it one more time just for make sure it's centered in there good. Alright, so that helped a little bit on that. That looks pretty good.
I like it. So that's a really easy way to do that without having even have a bead roller, just a piece of metal in your press. Bam! I fixed that up a little bit. All right, now I just need a bead roll around the edge here. All right, so we're just gonna, let's see, this is this way, so we wanna turn down. Yeah, starting right here, we're gonna just turn this lip down a little bit. All right, there it is, splash guard. So that just gives that edge, you know, some nice strength and looks really good. Okay, there is the splash pan. It's just sitting in there. So this will get, you know, welded along there and welded and probably a few spots along in there, but it looks pretty good. Someone looks, you know, when they look down, cool little design. All right, well, that was a whole day's work. Now, granted, I was kind of a slacker today and was on Instagram half the day and TikTok, but looks pretty good. So this gap up there is because of the body drop, so I'm going to be filling that in with panel adhesive. But that looks good. I like it. All right, chili peppers are getting me pumped up here. Had to turn it off because, you know, copyright. But I made this piece just like that, but I decided I needed a little more wheel well room for when the van is lowered, so I'm gonna extend it out. I'll show you on the inside. All right, guys, just finished this. This is the inner wheel well. This is facing the inside of the bus. This is the front. This is the wheel well. This is the top. So this would be the driver's side wheel well. So just, you know, I experimented with using the little piece of metal that I shaped to make that embossing, and then I did the bead roll with the little metal thing in the press to finish off the ends. So they don't quite match. So maybe that's not a great idea to do a combo of the both, but when you got, you know, when you're just using that, then you won't really be able to tell. But overall, this panel is really flat. Probably the best one I've done so far as not really having to do any extra hammering really at all. I got a really nice flat panel, so that tells me that I did a good job on my pre-stretching. So by pre-stretching the areas, and I mean, man, it's pretty good. It's a little, I mean, I could take that out by just bending that a little bit, but it's, you know, for what we're using it for, you know, if you had to body work it, obviously you would see high spots and stuff on a really micro level, but for what we're doing, it's going to be rhino lined, and then it's going to be covered in sound deadening and stuff. So the only spot anyone will see it would be the inside wheel well when it's all said and done. I should have sanded it first. I like sanding my panels first, so basically they're prepped once we're ready for paint, because it's pretty hard to go in and sand all the little nooks and crannies. So if you hit it while the panel's flat, a lot easier. All right, 2 inner fender panels done. And there's my old ones. Anybody need some half a day's worth of work? Trying out something kind of new here. We're using a rubber top roller with a either, I think it's a 1/2-inch bead bottom roll, and it won't do a bead roll, but it'll start putting a curve in the panel. So it kind of just squishes the panel. So I'm just going to run straight down there. I didn't have enough. So obviously you could, so you can see that it just puts a straight bend in it. So I'm just using these lines as a guide. You know, you could bend this over a piece of pipe or something. So I'm spacing it out about each pass about 3/16 or so. And what's interesting about using the rubber wheel, if you can see down there, it's basically straight. It doesn't put a warp into it like when you do the bead roll does. So you could also do that in a break by, you know, bend, you know, just keep bending it up a little bit by a little bit in the break. But if you don't have a break and you had a bead roller, then that would be something you could try. All right, I think we'll test the fit. Unmarred finish. You know. It's kind of hard to track to a little bit. At some point I'm going to run out of room here. That looks pretty close. Just have a little bow on the end there. All right. This thing's starting to get crunchy, like the gears in there.
Yeah, she rolled though.
All right. I mean, it's, you know, not the most beautiful, but that other, you know, by doing those little relief cuts, saved us a lot of time. Otherwise, we would have to sit there and try to shrink all this and pull all that metal together, and this is all going to get seam sealed and stuff anyway. So I think that will be fine. All right, so this panel is going to go up under that other one, so we're going to just do a little. All right, one top panel. What's up guys, James Spearoff here. Thanks for coming back again. Today we're going to be working on the inner rear wheel wells of the VW bus project. If you're interested, stay tuned. Let's go!
Hey, yeah, you're gonna break this tripod, bro.